Hey, hey, Blue Table fans. It is time. It's time for our first 6th edition Warhammer 40K Bat Rep. It's going to be between me and Thomas. We are the odd couple of wargaming. I'm playing for fun. He's playing to stomp me on my neck. No, but seriously, he's going to try some pretty nasty combos, or at least one that I know of. And away we go. Alright, so we're here with Thomas and some other guy. He seems nice, so there you go. Alright, go ahead, guys. Tell us all. You were talking about Black Templars and Drago Wing.
We're talking about the allocation, how now, because characters get a lookout cert and independent characters get a lookout cert on a 2 or better, you could just and you have to pull casualties from the front of the unit. So you get a tough guy that has a 2-up armor save, and you stick him at the front of your unit, and then people shoot a bunch of dice at him, and he has to die first. So at first you can just be like, oh, okay, I roll, and you do each wound separately. So, oh, I come across a wound that's, you know, strength 9, AP 2. Look out, sir! And some bloke in the back takes the hit. But then it's, oh, you've got 10 bolter wounds on the unit? Okay, here's one, I passed it, passed it, passed it, passed it, passed it. You know, until you roll a 1, then you're like, oh, I took a wound. Okay, now I look out, sir, a couple more wounds here. You know, but it's like, at least for a little while, and if you roll, I mean, if you're rolling 1 die, it's only a 1 in 6 chance that you're going to roll a 2. And the odd, I mean, the statistics don't really go up, it's just not like you have more dice in the same roll. So it just seems to me like it's possible to be like, I mean, I sat there and rolled it when we were talking Blackfire. Yeah. I literally rolled 10 dice and didn't roll 1 time. So it's like,
yeah,
pretty powerful.
Well, with Drago, you're actually kind of doing the opposite, though, where any like strength 9 or 10 stuff that normally would knock out your paladins, he takes
instead.
And then he's probably going to save it because, you know, 2 up, 3 up, whatever.
Right.
But anything that is just going to do a normal wound that gets past him, he'll look out, sir, on a 2 up and put it on whatever paladin he wants. So you can just cherry pick the 1 wounds. So you're going to have the same thing where you have a paladin unit full of 1 wound on him. And anything that would kill a paladin, Drago's just going to soak up. So
it does seem a little silly.
Yeah. So
it doesn't quite work the same way for knobs or knobs.
Knobs, I think knobs are the same way, where they're all still considered characters.
They are characters.
Yeah. So knobs can still do the same thing.
All right. So really, the only group that got boned in this was the Thunderwolf Calf.
Are they not characters?
They're not characters.
Yeah.
They don't even have a sergeant.
Yeah.
Space Wolves don't have sergeants. So you can still put a nasty character at the front of their unit and do kind of the same idea as a beefy character. You can even give one of them an Eternal Warrior. They'll be really gross, but he can't cherry pick wounds like that. Well, I mean, I guess he could kind of, right? As long as you have the character at the front of the unit. Or wherever the fire is coming from, because you can be like, oh, I look out, sir, and that guy takes it. Or, oh, I look out, sir, and have that guy instead take it.
I mean, it remains to be seen, you know, with playtesting and stuff, but it seems to me like we're going to see a lot of formations where they're going to have an independent character right at the front, and then all of his guys kind of in a very tight triangle behind him to maximize the areas of enemy shooting where the independent character is going to be the front one taking the wound, because that's just a huge advantage you can have when he's probably going to have better saves anyway, and if there's stuff you don't want him taking, 2 up and it's on someone else of your choice.
Right.
So it's going to be pretty silly, but I don't know. There's a lot of silly stuff with the allies that we're both thinking about, both looking to try out. Some more fluffy fun times, some more just ridiculous beatdowns.
Yes. He wants to play orcs with Grey Knights.
It will be the Orcs Terminatus. Can't you picture that? Like some Grand Master is holding a dying Inquisitor in his arms. In his very last words, he can't really pick it out, but he thinks he says Orcs Terminatus. so he takes all of the powers that Inquisitor has and invests them in an Orc war boss and his buddies. Because he knows that Orc war boss will carry on the fight against the demons, the heretics, and the aliens. Except maybe not so much the orcs, but other aliens. They will be defeated. So, I think it'd be great.
It sounds pretty ridiculous. I think it will be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The independent character rules and allowing them to avoid incoming fire on the 2 or better is pretty. I mean, it's way more janky than it was in fantasy. Because in fantasy, it was like, oh, my character avoided this thing that was probably going to splash and kill them. But in this case, in 40K, more often than in fantasy, like I remember there's only some characters, very few characters in fantasy where it was like, I really want this character to be taking moves, and almost nobody had a 2-up armor save. And then not only that, but almost everything, anything that's a strength 4 or higher is going to modify that armor save and not make it as good.
Yeah.
Not so in 40K. So all of a sudden you have these powerhouse characters who are like, what? I can take 20 wounds instead of just 1? My unit doesn't get splashed by this, and I roll 1 at a time, so I can't be killed by it. If I roll 20 dice, I'm likely to roll 3 ones and just die. But in this case, I just roll 1 at a time, so when I get down to 1 wound, I stop rolling on myself? But what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And I think we can all agree there's some things that were ideas in fantasy that were brought over to 40K that in certain situations don't make quite as much sense. Like just challenges in general. I think they work better in the fantasy setting, whereas in 40K you'll get situations where, you know, there's Mephiston, you know,
that's
the Lord
exactly
of Death,
who I was
just
being
like, hey, you Imperial Guard guys, I challenge your Commissar to one-on-one combat. And the Commissar's like, I'll take you up on that. Let's do it.
Or not, and the Commissar's like, I stand in the back, but you can't use his leadership anymore. It is. It's like Mephiston's going to be, what? I just got, well, not only that, but here's the other thing. All hand-to-hand weapons now have an AP. So, power swords, AP 3, Mephiston's like, let me laugh my way to the bank. Let me just laugh my way to the bank. I charge your unit of all power weapons. I don't care. I'm Mephiston. I got a 2-up armor save. I go before you and I kill 6 of you. And then you swing back and I roll my 2-up armor saves and live. It's just gonna be ridiculous. I look forward to seeing. You guys know Dave. He's played a lot of Bat Reps. He plays a lot of Blood Angels. He cannot play Mephiston. Like Mephiston just sucks for him no matter what. Sometimes that's just a thing. You know, there's certain characters or certain things that you just in your codex you just can't play. For me, in Chaos or the Space Marine Codex, it's bias. I just haven't figured out how to make it work. Well, Dave doesn't like Mephiston, and I just want to play a game where I play Mephiston against them and just do that to several of the units. Just be like, oh, I jump into your unit. You challenge me, I accept. I kill your guy. You lose combat, okay? We stay. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. You know, and Mephiston just eats his way through entire units. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that killed him before will still kill him, which was Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators.
Sure. Yeah.
But
I mean, there's few things in the game, and fewer now that 6 has come out, that really do want to go toe-to-toe with Thunderhammer Storm Shields.
That's true.
Realistically, Terminators, they were one of the hardest units there were, and now that Power Weapons kind of got the AP3, instead of just cutting through like, you know, a hot knife through butter, they're even more dominant. At least it appears at this point.
They are more dominant, but it also made it possible. Thunderhammer Storm Shieldnators are awesome. They don't get to shoot though because of Overwatch, right? But it did make it so that regular Terminators are playable again, to some extent, because you're at least not going to get wrecked in close combat by non-Thunderhammer Storm Shield, by non-guys that are, you know, I mean, obviously anything that was you would take into combat against a regular Terminator before, you take into combat now, and you're like, oh, I don't really want to be in that combat because they're going to get their armor saves, and then their fists or whatever are going to come back and pump me.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty rare now for something that's actually going to threaten your Terminators to be hitting before them. I mean, almost everything's going to be at initiative 1. It's going to be killing you. So, and then if you have this little birdie guy handy, then they just re-roll their saves. So,
I'm just saying. You know what? Shawn's playing Necrons today. I don't know if we're playing on this computer or on this camera or not. But he brought. We have 2,500 points. He brought Necrons, and he wanted to show off the double force organization chart. You can have 2,000 points or more. So he's got something nasty cooked up over there. And I've been thinking about this since the book came out. since before the book came out on Friday, I've been thinking about this list and said, I gotta try it. So it's Chaos Space Marines with Demon Allies, and I brought Fate Weaver, and I have 9 Obliterators. So, yeah. It's a little bit gross. Yeah. It's a little bit gross. We'll see what happens.
I'm not afraid of your stupid Obliterators.
Shawn, I just want you to know.
I'm like, yay, Obliterators! Awesome.
I had to, if you had another
please, sir, can I have some more?
Yeah, if you did another 5 or 6 Obliterators, I would have brought them instead of the fat unit of Blood Crushers. Oh yeah, the Thunderbolts, right? Yeah. So, but hold on a second. Oh, so this is you're playing this as a Demons list, Allied Chaos Space Marines? No, Chaos Space Marines with Allied Demons. Okay, so those are being used as Blood Crushers. These are Blood Crushers. Wow, this army is like even cooler now. It is. It's pretty gross. So, and I might point out, hello, I'm from behind the pole. Hello, you. By the way, if you want to do some pole dancing, like for fitness or whatever, don't use. He's got the attention of all of the.
But you need to put your head down.
Yeah,
your head off. There you go.
Don't use this pole because these, as I found out, these are very awkward, and it just ends up not being very sexy. Of course, with me, it never is anyway. So, let's continue.
Are we using this camera for the background?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I'm ready if you are.
Yeah, so, because therein lay the question. Do you want me to use this camera and get the bat rep up tonight? Hello. I'm just going to grab this whole thing and move it. Do you want me to? I feel like a rock star on stage. What up? So do you want me to use this camera and get the bat rep up today? Or do you want me to use the HD thing, rip out 2 patches of hair here, and get it going on Saturday? So, but see, you would never really know the difference, would you? It would just be like kind of like, that's what we're going to try and do, is like a rotation. So anyway, with that rather lengthy introduction, is there something, miss? Oh, okay, great. So did you talk about what you're bringing, Thomas?
I have not, because I didn't know if we were using that camera or not.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, we are. And I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm taking Necrons, by the way. So what we need to do is play it by the book. So I don't know what is the very first step of a game? Is it choose forces?
Yeah, choose forces. So what we'll do
is choose forces really the very first thing?
I believe
okay, I'm done. I already made my army list.
Yeah, I got my army list.
All right, great. So
army list?
Well, look up the step by step, and I'll do my army list. So here it comes. Ooh, you feel like you're fine. Okay, so this is the Studio Necrons army. It was actually sold, so it's not technically ours anymore. And but I do get to use it for some weeks, which I think is pretty awesome. By the way, I already have plans in motion to duplicate this army and different. Also, it turns out this is really pushing 3,000 points, not 2,500. So anyway, you can go on our Webstore, and we have what are called armies for duplication. Excuse me, a commission army. And that's where you say, you know what, I like this, make that for me. And so you can just buy those right off of our web store. So here's what I brought. I have, and by the way, this all fits on a regular Force Org, even though we're doing 2,500, and I could have technically taken 2 Force Orgs. So what I've got here is for HQs, I have 1 HQ. I'm using one of the named characters, but he's just an Overlord, not this guy, I dropped him. 4 Cryptechs. These are Cryptech conversions. By the way, you've seen this all on HD already. It's a couple videos back. So that is my HQ. For troops, I have a unit of warriors in a Ghost Ark. Same thing. And a unit of 20 warriors on foot. For elites, I have 2, not 1, but count them, 2 Triarch Stalkers. Fantabulous model. For fast attack, I have a unit of destroyers, 2 units of 3 each for canoptic wraiths. For heavy, I have a monolith, a annihilation barge, and a doomsday cannon. So I have lots of different things that I don't know what they do. I'm amazingly ill prepared for this. It was a ton, but I did a ton of reading. I've never played Necrons before in this edition, and I've never played 6th edition. So I have a feeling that Thomas has probably spent more time with his rule book than me. Okay, so on to, I am using a bastion as a fortification. I'm using this ruined building. It has an Icarus las cannon, so I'm going to use this command barge. It has this really cool Necron weapon on there, but it occurred to me you could make themed versions of all these fortifications, and that makes me happy. Like demons could have a bastion that was like this big stone, you know, demonic summoning circle, and that's their comms relay. Isn't that neat? There's so much that could be done. Okay, Thomas, tell us about your army.
Okay, so I decided to bring Chaos allied with Chaos because that's a possibility.
So what's the main army list?
The main army list is Chaos Space Marines.
Okay.
It's led by my counts as Aramon, who's a sorcerer model.
Okay, great.
And I have to figure out, I have to squeeze the points exactly right, because one of the things I just realized is demon princes and sorcerers, regular sorcerers, have a power mastery level, psychic mastery level of 1, which means they generate 1 psychic token a turn, which means they can use 1 power a turn, either as a attempt on a spell or to make their weapon into a force weapon or something like that. But Aramon is a 3. And I had already spent the points to make my sorcerer cost 195 points. So it was only another 55 that I had to squeeze somewhere else out of the list to make Aramon into the beefcake that I want. Because these three psychic powers, pretty gross. The new psychic powers are pretty awful. And I want to try some of them because they're pretty awful. And then I bring this guy who's got 1. He's going to have 1. He's my other HQ choice that I brought.
Okay, so he's a psyker too.
He's a
demon prince?
He's a demon prince.
So this is the allied HQ from the demons list?
No, this is the allied HQ from the demons.
The Fate Weaver.
The Fate Weaver.
All right, how many points is he, by the way?
333 points.
Oh, wow, okay. All right.
And I haven't even looked into what the Fate Weaver gets.
You know what he gets.
I know.
Shut up.
You
know what the main thing is.
I don't even care if he just stands there the whole game and picks his nose. He has rather large nostrils, by the way.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of.
And he's got great pointy fingers too.
That's true. Oh yeah, perfect.
If I had fingers like that, they would be 1 up each nostril all the time.
Yeah. No. I don't care if he does anything but that, as long as he stands.
But what's the thing? You
armor.
didn't say it.
He's got a 6-inch bubble
of reroll saves.
Reroll saves.
Right.
So
all saves, cover
all
saves.
All saves.
Wow. Okay, I'm ready.
It's stupid. It's
right.
awesome.
So
Terminators
on a 2-up would just be you just couldn't do it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then the real core of the army is the 9 obliterators. So 9 obliterators that are all going to at least have 1 model within 6 inches of Fate Weaver, so that they get a 2-up rerollable save.
Right.
And then all their nasty shootingness.
Awesome.
And then I have my troop choices are a fat unit of noise marines with some noise marine fun, and they have a rhino. And then regular chaos space marine guys, and they've got a rhino, and they've got some meltas in his fist and stuff. And then I'm counting these guys as bloodletters. So they'll be teleporting out of the sky as just a unit of bloodletters.
Okay.
Every
save.
Armor, info,
and these are juggernauts.
And these are going to be
demon juggernauts.
What's the word? They're not called juggernauts in here. Blood crushers.
Blood crushers. Yeah.
So.
Okay, great. So the demon allies have an HQ, that's him.
Yep.
And they have a troops choice, which is the bloodletters.
And then they chose to take one of their elite choice.
And is this 1 giant unit?
It's 1 giant unit.
Oh wow. Okay, what's their save?
They have a 3-up, 5-up, so a 3-up armor save and a 5-up vulnerable save.
And that's good. That's good with reroll.
Yeah. Well, and then 2 wounds apiece.
So my objective is I got to kill Fate Weaver. So I'll go ahead and kill him the first turn. And then I just have to pick off maybe 3 or 4 other units a turn, and I'm good.
He won't be on the table.
Right. Well, I don't like that. Okay, so step 1 is what?
Step 1 was choosing our forces, so we've done that.
We did that. Okay.
Step 2 is choosing our battle.
A half hour later.
Yeah.
We're past step 1.
We're going to choose the mission. So go ahead and roll a die, Shawn.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, here we go. This is deployment type.
Yeah. The first one's mission.
Mission is a 6.
The relic. This is going to be fun.
Oh no! This is the football one that they used to have.
One. Yeah, it's.
Oh, that's great. Do you want to do this one? Would you rather do a different one?
I don't care at all.
No, let's do the relic. We rolled it.
We're doing the relic.
We're going to do it.
All right, and then go ahead and roll for deploy. Or let's see what the relic says. All right, choose the armies, the battlefield. Next determine your deployment map is described on 118.
Okay, here it comes.
Before placing terrain, place a counter or coin, and we have to place terrain first. Do you have terrain placed already, Shawn?
No, well, this is on the table, but I haven't put it where it should be.
You realize our table's two foot extra long. Do you want to do this?
Yeah, no, I want to peel off part of it.
All right, so
we'll do that.
We need to do deployment.
Okay.
I mean terrain.
So is terrain the next step before we do the deployment?
Yes,
Roll for
yes.
deployment type?
Yes, it will. Yeah.
Okay, so it's battlefield, then deployment.
Yep.
Okay. So when is place fortifications? Because I took a fortification.
It will be after.
It is before.
I'm lying to you. We are going to roll deployment first.
Okay, here it comes.
Deployment. It's a D3.
Okay, so hold on a second. What's the order? The first thing is choose forces.
First thing is choose forces. Second is the mission.
Okay,
Third
mission.
Is our
deployment type.
The deployment
okay.
type.
Here it goes. Four.
That will be the hammer and anvil.
Okay, let's see what that is. Is that the middle one?
It's got the.
It's gonna be the long edges. Wow. Okay, I'm ready, I guess.
This will be fun.
Okay. So now we right, but fortifications are put on before you set up terrain.
Yes, the first thing you're going to
So
do
shouldn't we
is
determine which deployment zone I'm in?
Next, players must place any fortifications they have in their army before placing any terrain.
Right.
Yeah.
But wouldn't I have to choose my side before
now
doing that?
Now we roll.
So here you go. Here's a dice stud. 2, 2, 6, 6.
Oh my goodness.
The Fate Weaver is toying with me. Oh, only to crush me.
Yeah.
All right.
He does toy with you. I'll go ahead and
All right, there you go. Get your hopes up.
And
so
it doesn't really matter.
yeah.
I'll take this path over here. So
Okay.
You go ahead and place.
Let's cut off that 2 foot down there. And then, all right. So what does that mean?
So
that means you deploy first and place and go first.
Yeah.
If you pick the side.
Yeah,
you have option
before
that.
placing another terrain. If both players have one fortification, then take turns to deploy and start with the player who chose table house. So I don't have one. You do. So you place your fortification first. Fortifications must be set up wholly within the owning player's table half and not within 3 inches of the other fortification.
All right, so now we're doing something we don't normally do, is we're using the rule book for terrain deployment. So for the 6 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we rolled a D3, and then we're just alternating off filling the zones. So this one's supposed to have 3, so you pick that one to be full. Now, I'm mostly a shooting army, so I want to have things not as dense, but guess what? This is really dense, and there's just absolutely no way around it. So I'm going to just put this near the edge. Okay, great. Well, and I guess I could take these smaller pieces, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that is great. So now I pick one of the quarters,
Yep.
and so I'm going to pick this one right here. So that'll fill up the 2 like smaller ones, and I'll put that. Hold on, I want to put it right here. So what I'm doing, there's a bit of strategy to this. I put these smaller pieces here to just try and block the lane. Okay, and that one only had 2 in it, so we're done, right?
So now it's your pick.
So now we filled up 4 spaces with terrain, right?
Yep.
Now this is interesting because we ended up kind of with this big blank spot here.
This guy's
And
okay
that's,
with that.
is it okay with that?
I kind of have a shooting army too. I mean, I definitely have some close combat elements to my army, but I feel like since this is my table half, I've been able to. I got to pick the 2 big pieces, and I've been able to
I'm
deny
going to take
you.
this giant. Deny me what? I don't understand.
You do have a big piece there. That's good. It's a good piece.
Yep, that is. So I'm going to put that right there.
Just move this guy in here.
Yep, and that one had 2, so we're done. And now my fortification counts as one of the 2 ones that we rolled.
But it's your turn to play.
So
you can
is
play
it my turn?
Yep.
Okay.
All
All right, there you go.
right, so now I deploy.
Now, I should point out that this is an 8-foot board, so we've actually cut off this entire 2 foot of board right here. All right, we're to the point now where you're deploying.
Yes.
But before you deploy, you do your warlord powers.
Or just one player.
I think when I deploy, I do mine. I'll just do mine right now.
Let's see, you need to know which table you start the game, roll before you deploy your army.
I'm going to do strategic.
Well, it'll be before. No. No, it'll be before. Because whatever you do might affect what I deploy. How I
Okay,
deploy.
great.
So let me do it, deploy, and then we'll go.
Okay, I'm ready.
Gonna do, let's see. I'm going to do strategic as well. And the reason I'm choosing that is I'm choosing Ahriman as my leader. And the reason behind me doing that is I could take my Demon Prince and do it with my Demon Prince. But my Demon Prince, and he's a close combat butt kicker and stuff, but he's going to be up there getting shot at a lot more often. And I don't want him to die because he'll give you victory points now with the, because each mission now has Kill the Warlord as one of the
Now in this, there's really only one objective, which is that. Right.
Those extra, there's secondary objectives. There's
No,
break
go
the
ahead.
line. First Blood, and Kill the Warlord.
Okay, great.
So I'm going to choose strategic as well, and it's going to be on Ahriman. I got a 5. Divide to conquer. While your warlord is alive, your opponent has a -1 modifier to reserve rolls. So if you put stuff in reserves, it'll make it harder for you to get.
It's no good. All right, no, that did affect my deployment. Okay, so here it comes. Mine is 4.
Yours 4.
I could have stood for a 5 as well.
While your warlord is alive, you can re-roll any reserve rolls, failed or successful. That's fun.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, go.
So I have a chaos. I have Ahriman, who he gets 3 power. He generates 3 powers, and so I'm going to roll him. I'm going to use telepathy as my choice, and I can choose different. I can make 3 different rolls, and they can all be on different groups. But I've chosen telepathy for all 3.
Okay.
So I've got a 3, a 2, and a 5, and I can choose to drop any one of those to be the Psychic Shriek.
The Primaris power, which is kind of the default one. All right, well, he's deciding that. I did want to point out that this army is for sale. It's on the Webstore. The Greater Demon of Tzeentch, that should be up in just a day or two if you want to pick that one up too.
Telepathy as well.
Okay, telepathy.
A 2.
And unlike Warhammer Fantasy, there can be duplicates. You can have multiple guys with the same ability.
And I don't
so
like
what's
that.
a 2?
The two is mental fortitude. It's a blessing on a single unit friendly unit within 24. If they're falling back, they immediately group and they gain the fearless rule.
Well, that's no good. You already have that.
Well, I mean, most of my stuff has fearless, so I'm just going to drop it to the 1. So he's going to have a Primus power, and so is Ahriman.
Which is what?
The Primus power is Psychic Shriek. It's a Witchfire attack with a range of 12.
Okay.
Roll 3d6 and subtract the target's leadership. The target unit suffers a number of wounds equal to the result. Armor and cover saves will not be taken by it.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is gross.
Yeah, that is great.
Now, it would be even grosser if I wasn't playing against you, because your guys all have leadership 10.
Right.
So the best result I could possibly do to you would be 18. But think about playing against something like Orcs or Tyranids or something.
Right. That's tremendous. Okay, well there we go. All right, so Thomas deployed his guys, and we're going to take a look at that. But now is the time for me to ask questions about Thomas's reserves, shall we? Because his stuff has to arrive via D-Strike, right? Deep Strike? The demons, that is. So these guys are in Deep Strike Reserve.
Yes.
Deep Strike Reserve,
And
Deep Strike Reserve. What
guys
about
are in-
these guys?
these guys
Those
are
are
in
in the
the
transports.
transports. They're marked differently. This one's marked with icons of Slaanesh. And
Right.
so this is the one that has the Slaanesh Marines in it and Ahriman.
Right.
And so there's 9 guys in there and Ahriman. And then this one has 10 Chaos Space Marines in it.
Well, and okay, now's a great time to look at Thomas's deployment. He's got his 2 rhinos right out front, right on that 2-foot mark. And here's the objective. This is the sacred object or whatever it is, the relic. And he's got his obliterators out. They are not deep striking. So I got to tell you, this is like a giant kill zone out here. So yeah, we're gonna have Gene. Oh, by the way, and here's the Demon Prince. We're gonna have Gene explain to us what the rules of this relic are. So go ahead.
Okay, so with the relic, any model in a scoring unit can pick up the relic. So it's actually attached to an individual model in the unit, but it has to be a scoring unit, so pretty much only troops.
Right.
And then once that model picks it up, he picks it up at the end of the movement phase that he moves into base-to-base contact with it. He can drop it voluntarily at any time. He's automatically going to drop it if he dies. But other than that, he's pretty much carrying it around with him. Now, while he's carrying it around, it's very fragile. It's like he's playing hot potato, he's losing his focus, so he can't move more than 6 inches in any movement phase. He can't ever run. He can get into a transport, but if he does, he tells the driver to drive really slow, so he can only go 6 inches in any movement phase.
Now that's interesting, and I have to say that's really well written because it prevents someone from grabbing it and then just like zooming off and like an Eldar player with 36-inch turbo boost or whatever. Now, can the Rhino pick it up? Can a Rhino go out here, pick up the objective? So the guys will have to move out, disembark, and then either hoof it back or re-embark on the Rhino and drive off.
Yeah, that's right.
That is, I gotta tell you, goodly sirs, that is a tall order. And we each only have 3 troops choices. So technically, you can't get the objective if your opponent kills all your troops choices. Yeah. That's going to be my thing that I'm going to try and do. We'll see how easy that is. Oh, you should see the smarmy look that Thomas just gave me, like, yeah, that's going to happen. Oh, no, wait, that's just his regular look. Okay, we're on to the next step. I've deployed, so we've looked at Thomas's deployment. I have no reserves. I just plopped it all right on the ground. Oh, yeah, I put that there. Triarch Stalkers, a Ghost Arc without the guys that are in it. I have a unit of 5 with Cryptek here, a unit of 20 with Lord and Cryptek, a unit of 5 with Cryptek, a unit of 10 with Cryptek, Annihilation Barge, Ghost Arc, 2 units of 3 each of Canoptic Race. These jet bikes I put there for some reason, and then these guys, this Doomsday Arc, and this is an Icarus Las Cannon in a Bastion. That's how we're rolling that.
Cool.
Isn't that neat? So that's like, this is the guys like, oh, I'm really commanding this. No, it's me down here. Okay, go ahead.
Night fight.
So while my opponent's kicking my ass, I just I'm sorry. Okay, edit that out, Shawn. Note to self.